Hello, welcome back to part two of the Dirty Dancing review. So, where I left off, I was literally starting off at the point where he was trying to help her, or she was trying to help him carry the watermelons. You have a servant's heart. You are a servant. You are desiring to assist in whatever capacity in which you can. Sometimes your assistance, as if you go back and you look at the story of David, David was a servant. He was watching the sheep. He was catering to watching the sheep, and then he was also sent to his brothers in order to be able to lead them to destroying Goliath, because if he hadn't come to the battle, he wouldn't know, and they wouldn't know how to destroy Goliath. But he was there as a lonely servant to serve them their lunch that day. She just came to take the watermelon. She would have never known where they were, where all the dancers were, if she hadn't came to get the watermelon from the guy. So, let's see. The guy was a little bit reluctant. He didn't particularly want her to come because he knew that was where all the staff hung out. Meaning, this is like the, party place. Ain't nobody else supposed to know where we let our hair down location. Ain't nobody supposed to know all that. So, the guy comes and let me see if I can figure out what this guy's name is, because I got what is the guy's name? So, let's see. Billy is the one that had the watermelons. So he is he needs the door open. So he kicks the door open to the shed space that they have. And when the door opens, she comes in and she's like, "What is this?" The Lord's giving me this right now. God's going to make sure that the door that you're supposed to enter into is open for you to enter. Sometimes he's going to bring you someone that will lead you in. I'm getting 7:27, which is that Romans 7:27? I always get that mixed up. I think it's Romans 7:27 that says that I'm sending a messenger before you. The messenger before you is supposed to lead for you to have the door open. There's also a scripture that talks about I will send angels before you to clear your pathway. Okay, so he opens the door. When the door opens, she's shocked at what she's seeing, because everybody in there gyrating and jumping and jiving and listening to the music and all that kind of stuff. When you enter your new elevation where God is taking you, because it's going to be a new level, you're going to see some things that you wasn't expecting. Where God is calling you, there's going to be people, there's going to be situations and scenarios that you're not going to be expecting to see. And you're going to have to keep your composure when you see it. Okay? You're going to be invited into rooms. You're going to be invited into spaces and places. I was literally going over this with the Lord. I have no poker face. I'm going to have to pray with the Lord about that, because I ain't got no poker face. I have none whatsoever. My face tell you exactly how I feel. If I don't like something, you're going to see it on my face. I can't lie. But, yeah, you're going into places. It may be shocking to you what you see when the doors open. Everybody was in there jumping, jiving, gyrating, dancing all up on each other, and it was like, wait, what? What's this? And he comes and Billy puts the watermelons down, and she's just standing there off to the side, like looking around, like, I don't even know what to do with this. Some of you are that person. I don't care how bold I seem or sound. I'm a wallflower, period. I'm that person that would stand near the wall during a dance. I'm just not the person that's like jump gung ho out here. I'm more of that in business. I'm not out there like that to be dancing and all of that. I'm like, no. I'm the person sitting in the corner, and then usually you get the guy that has drank too much that wants to come sit and talk and run his mouth at you, and you like, if somebody else brought you, where are you? Can we leave? Especially if you're not there with a guy. I wasn't the girl that went out like that, so it's like she's standing there like, I don't know what to do with myself. She got her hands clasped in front of her like, I don't know what to do with myself. And then here comes Johnny. Johnny, who was dancing with Penny, the other dance instructor, he just jumping and gyrating and jiving with her, and he's just standing there like, oh, He sees Billy, and he separates from Penny, and he checks him out like, bro, you do know who she is, right? Why you bring her here? And he's like, I needed help. And Baby says, I was helping them with the watermelons. And then she wants to bite her tongue because she's like, oh my God, did I really just say that? Some of y'all, when you have your first interaction with your latter-day spouse, if you've never met them before, yeah, you're going to put your foot in your mouth. The Lord showed me a couple times in a few dreams that I was going to slip and fall. And I don't think that had anything to do with me actually slipping and falling. I think that had everything to do with you're falling for the individual, meaning you're falling in love with them. You've already fallen in love with them. But to me, the connotation is just as embarrassing. Not knowing what to say, so on and so forth. But the irony is, you would think that this individual, because they are super macho dude, this guy's always got something to say. Some of your dudes don't know what to say to you either. And they're that guy. Yeah. But he sees her. And he sees that she's afraid. And the first thing he does is he starts saying, come here. Your God ordained spouse is going to have to coax you out of some things. You're buttoned up. You're very to the point. You're to the letter. You're very scheduled. I got a very strict, strategic way that I operate with things. Everything's done in an ordinance. Yes, I don't have a schedule, meaning I don't have a schedule that is written to a T, but I still schedule myself. You know what I'm saying? But I allow my schedule to be, I have a set of things that I know that I'm going to do every single day. That's my routine. I do my routine. And then I loosen my schedule up because it's not written down. It's when I write my schedule down, I get paranoid and anxious. If my schedule isn't written down and I just go off the top of my dome of the things that I know that I need to do, because I know what my day-to-day schedule is, then I do that. I'm not a writer-downer of schedules, because then I get frustrated when things don't happen. If I have an appointment and the other person doesn't show up, I get exacerbated when it comes to, I wrote this in my schedule, I scheduled time for this, you didn't honor the time that I gave you, or the time that you said that you would be there. Now I'm angry. This is why I don't schedule anything, because I know my day-to-day, I know my schedule. When it's written, it's like it's written in stone. That's why I give the leeway of This is my schedule. This is my day. I know if there's something in particular that needs to be done that day, is done. Okay? But I'm very to the letter, very. And it's funny because of the fact that I am an artist. So because I'm an artist, you would think that I would be more loose with my stuff. But even in my artistry, I'm kind of like, I like things very strategically well put together, color coded, well matched, so on and so forth. Especially as a person that has done design, I'm kind of that way. Do I use pattern? Do I use color? Yes. And what the Lord has shown me is that my God-ordained spouse, he'll put anything together. And I'm just like, this is going to be such an interesting relationship. Oh my goodness. Because I'm very straight-laced and he's very loose with his creativity. So it's like, he gonna loosen me up. He gonna loosen me up. So guy, he's like, come here. And she's like, come here. And she, So he goes and he grabs her and pulls her onto the dance floor. And he starts dancing with her and pulling her into a couple moves and showing her how to maneuver her body. Your God-ordained spouse is going to help loosen you up. For my ladies that ain't had sex in years. Years. You won't have to loosen up. Because these men, depending on how long the Lord has had them in a sabbatical state, they're going to be ready for you. And you're going to have to relinquish your control level because you're going to have to get in bed with this man. Body to body, skin to skin contact. Loosen up. You're going to have to loosen up. A lot of y'all is like, ooh, I can't wait for marriage. And depending on how fast the Lord sets you up with your spouse, meaning you might go through a 3-month courtship before your wedding, or you may just elope. Either way, you're supposed to consummate that marriage. This man is going to loosen you up. And if you want to take it any further than that, let your brain go there. I'm not going to say what I just thought, but you know what I mean. All the way around. In every area, he's going to loosen you up. So, what else happened? Johnny danced with her. And, oh, I lost my note. Where's my note? There it is. He takes her back because she has to get back before her parents start looking for her. Anyway, the next day, everybody's doing regular camp activities. You know, some of y'all are going to be in some awkward places. It's not going to be a comfortable place completely, but there are going to be comfortable pockets in this situation. Think about it, a teenager at a camp. You're not really... Some of you are going to be being introduced to industries and places. Some are new job titles. Some are new positions that you're going to be occupying, and it's going to be a little uncomfortable as you take on this new position that God has positioned you in. Lord, you want me to bring that in here? The Lord showed me graduation. Some of you are shifting, you're getting new certifications, and it's not even that you actually are getting new certifications. A lot of people have gotten new certifications, but some people have getting certification scenarios where it's lining up. Things are lining up for you, okay? And it's in that you have elevated. And you're moving from being a adjunct teacher to a professional teacher, so on and so forth. You're shifting into this new position, new place, new space. And as you're shifting, there's a lot of stuff going on around you. And for a lot of us, it's a lot of distraction right now as we are being prepared to shift into these new places and spaces. Some of you are dealing with delays. Some of you dealing with physical delays. Let me tell you something about a delay. If you deal with constipation in your physical body, you're going to notice that you deal with delay a lot. Whatever you use to get rid of your constipation, use it. Because you are physically experiencing what you are spiritually dealing with. If you notice you're dealing with a spiritual delay and you actually are dealing with constipation, guess what? Get rid of the constipation in your body. The delay will move. It'll get easier. I always check these things. If I'm noticing an actual delay and I actually have a physical delay in my body, then I know, okay, I need to fix this problem. Another problem. There's shifts, transitions, transformations. And sometimes the Lord allows you to go through those delays in order for you to finish what it is you need to finish. The delay would be allowed because there's some things you need to complete. While you are completing those things, you'll have the delay in there. So, she has breakfast with her parents the next day. The following night, she's out there with the uppity dude because he keep wanting to take her around. And while she around, doing what she doing with him, because he won't keep talking to her. There are people, they think that they have the ability to talk to you and that you might be interested because, what I just say, the good guy, the everything lined up person, all of this kind of stuff, they think, oh, naturally she'd be attracted to, you over there looking at the other dude. No, I don't want super Mr. Straight-laced dude. No. Dockers, well put together, pinned straight. Like, I'm looking at the dude with the edge over there. You get on my nerves. The one that you can read real well. Like, can I get away from you? Jesus. Yeah, so she like, he takes her to one of the other kitchens in one of the buildings. He does it and be talking about a whole bunch of nonsense. I vaguely remember what he was saying to her. It wasn't a whole bunch of nothing. He's like, baby, we could and this, that, and the other. And she's like, And she was so happy, I believe, to see Penny, even though Penny was in distress. 343. Some people are dealing with distress. Okay? And I'm going to tell you this right now. Last night I heard a bunch of songs come on the radio. And it sounded like, you know them songs that the women be playing when your man done broke up with you? Yeah. Them counterfeits done dealt with it. They are sad, crying over in the corner some daggone. And that's what this woman is doing, sitting in the corner crying. She realized, okay, I need to get rid of him. So she's like, hey, I forget what his name is. Can we go? And she wants to go back to where they were, where all of the adults were. And meanwhile, she runs to where Johnny's at because he was still with the other dancers and stuff. And runs, grabs Johnny, whispers in his ear. He comes and goes to get Penny. So when she gets a moment, she goes back to where she found Johnny the night before. So Johnny is there with Penny. Penny sitting there crying and upset with Billy, and Penny sitting there, Billy, what's she doing here? Billy's like, I brought it with me. And, what's his name? Johnny, standing there, he pissed off because Penny's pregnant. Penny is pregnant. And she slept with somebody. You don't know who she slept with right now. Everybody would naturally assume it was Johnny because Johnny is always with Penny and be dancing with Penny and all this kind of stuff. So naturally assumption. And she's talking about the fact that she's not going to keep the baby. I need you to brace yourself for this part of the conversation, okay? I don't like talking about this. I really don't. As we know, our society right now is a political, spiritual fight against abortion right now. The left is saying this, the right is saying the other thing. So we got that going on publicly. Should people abort? Should people have the right to their own body? Blah, 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 blah. I'm not getting into all that. But I believe you can read between the lines where I am going. For some of your God-ordained spouses, they either had association with somebody that aborted a child, the person they were with aborted a child, or the child that was assumed to have been theirs wasn't. But it was somewhere that a child was aborted, a child passed on. Okay? These men may have not even known that this woman was pregnant. Because any of y'all seen that meme that's been popping up? It's a meme. I've seen it on Instagram. And I don't know why they always do it with black people. It was a black woman and a black man. It's like the woman saying, I don't want the child. And the guy is crying about the fact that she don't want the child. And then there's another part to the meme that is talking about a man saying to a woman something that's almost to the same alternative. So I think it's a woman not letting a man see his child or something. I don't know. But anybody else, have you seen that meme? Because I saw that meme. It popped up to me a couple times. Some of these women were conniving like that. They just were more concerned about their life, their career, what they were trying to build. So they just aborted it. Anybody watch Scandal? Remember that episode when she was fighting the abortion rights bill and they were in the midst of having the lockout? What was it? Lockout? You know when they be in Congress and they get locked, the decision get locked and they have to stand for a period of time and preferably not budge. Well, she had went and had an abortion. And a lot of these women, either for career purposes, aborted the child. Some of them, because of the witchcraft that was involved, aborted the child. I'm going to just say it as it is. I'm going to call a spade a spade. So, yeah. Some of your God-ordained spouses either did not know, or they did know, and the woman just refused to keep the child, or they were operating under witchcraft and sacrificed it. I'm just putting that there. Some of them were just narcissistic, and they knew that something like that would hurt this man, so they did that. And some, the child wasn't never theirs to begin with. So, but they used it as a pawn to hurt the man. Because they knew that they could keep them under their finger by doing that. Some of these women was just plain sick, twisted people. There's some words that are in my brain that I can't say because I'm Christian. But I think you know what they are. Anyway, moving on. Where we at? Okay. So she pregnant. She needs to take care of the issue. Now, they didn't really want to say what the take care of the issue was, but baby said she didn't have the money because the money that she had was tied up in something else. And for the amount in it, and Billy said a bit like, well, we know a guy that can do it, but it's like, we need to be able to pay them, and he's only available for this one night, so, but it's the same night that, Johnny and her were supposed to dance at the Sheldrake, and she also still has to do her camp duty, so it's an element of she needs to be down for a couple of days, so it's like, if they do it on that day, then she'll have the weekend to be off. But and baby says, I'll do it. And he's like, what? It's like, I get it. They be like, no, you don't have to do blah, 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 blah. She's like, don't worry, I do. And Johnny makes a snide comment, yeah, go daddy and ask him for some money. That's what you're going to do, isn't it? Aren't you? Some of these men, how you want me to put this? They realize that you have a really close relationship with your father. Okay? You can get anything from your father. And some of them might have a bit of a biting attitude towards that because, one, they didn't have a good relationship with their father. Two, the other reason why they've been in rebellion from the father is because they didn't have a good relationship with their actual father. And three, they have been untrusting to the father up until this point, and God's been trying to break them, and they've been dealing with the shame of dealing with that. So it's been a lot of that. What else? So they got a biting attitude towards that. So what she ends up saying is she goes to her dad and gets the money. Her dad has a golf game the next day, and she's his caddy, and she just casually suggests him giving her the exact amount for her to get the procedure done. And because she knows her dad, and she ain't never in trouble anyway, her dad's like, sure, here, I'll give it to you when you need it. It's like, oh, I need it. Blah, blah, blah. And he said, okay, I'll give it to you. And she's like, thank you, Daddy. Blah, blah, blah. And she leaves. Pause. Some of you, this is a bit of a rebuke to some of y'all. Some of you have gone to the Father and asked him for certain things. And to my people that have been operating in the wrong heart posture, you ain't been walking with God right in the first place. You've been operating in Christian witchcraft. All of this. Some of you have operated in a manipulative spirit. This is for you. Where you have gone to the Father and you have tried to manipulate, finagle, and or get something that you wanted. Some of y'all, it's God, it ain't husband. Some of y'all, it's the gifts from God without the Father. Some of you, it's certain things. And God was like, I'm not giving you that. some of you is a scripture in the Bible that talks about the fact that, let me see if I can find it. I don't even need to find it. It's Deuteronomy 11. Deuteronomy 11 is the instruction that God gives. We went over that in the previous video. It's the instruction that God gives after he has told you that you're going into the promised land. One of the main reasons that he has kept you out of the promised land for so long is because of the fact that he knows that he can't just give you, if he didn't let you go through trials and tests and wheat and tares and this and this and this and this, he needed to know that you were trustworthy, because he didn't want you to get there, be manipulated, not be discerning of what it was that you were experiencing, and then walk into confusion. And you sitting up there like, oh my God. He knew that he needed to test you to know that your heart posture is right. And just when you thought you was coming out of a test, he tested you again because he needed to make doubly sure that you weren't just playing him. Okay? Using his kindness for weakness. Because people have done that. A lot of people are going to be sent into places and spaces. And a lot of people have been sent into high-ranking places, gone in, and got pulled in by the snakes. And the next thing they know, the devil has them. Some of you, that's where your spouse was. I've said this before. Go back and look at any of my old videos on Kingdom Marriage. Your spouse got pulled into some stuff, and it was done so casual and slow that they didn't even realize that Satan was turning them and twisting them all kinds of ways. But God needs to check your heart posture. Yes, God will do anything for you. You are his child. He loves you. He's going to give you whatever you ask for. But sometimes he will test you. He will give you exactly what you ask for. And God's bringing me to this. He will give you a financial release. And that financial release in itself is a test. What you do with that when he gives it to you will determine if he can give you more. For it says in the word that he will give you something to steward. What's that scripture? Hold on. It's like I cannot find this scripture, and I know it's on the tip of my tongue. For when he gives you something to steward, he will give you more. Once he knows that he can trust you with what he's given you. So I'm coming up on the end of this video, and I'm gonna come back with the next part. Okay. So until next time, much love, faith, peace, and blessings to you. Bye-bye.